which is a lesson in sickness. Remember that. Ingratitude is a lesson in sickness. If you're sick, don't take an antibiotic. Take a good dose of gratitude. No, give a big dose of gratitude. Embody gratitude yourself. Again, his healing lesson is limited by his own ingratitude, which is a lesson in sickness. Learning is constant and so vital in its power for change that a son of God can recognize his power in one instant and change the world in the next. That is because by changing his mind, he has changed the most powerful device that was ever created for change. And that device is the mind. The conscious experience of being. Now, when we use the word mind, you think of it as a noun, as an object. But mind means the conscious experience of being, which is a living, moving experience. Now this is important. Continuing. This in no way contradicts the changelessness of mind as God created it, but you think that you have changed it, as long as you learn through the ego. This does place you in a position of needing to learn a lesson which seems contradictory. You, listen to this, must learn to change your mind about your mind. You must abandon the confusion, the confused idea that mind and body are one and the same thing. That mind is a function of a brain, of chemical interactions and electrical spurts. And that you have this mind because in order for the body to be what it is, it requires government. It requires something disciplined to keep it all in order, and it's all physical. You need to be willing to abandon that, and you need to be willing to shift into the conscious experience of you as being consciousness, being conscious awareness in which all form is being experienced. And as I've said before, that every single form that you're experiencing is not physical, but is a pure idea. Again, whether it's the flowers in front of you or the glass top table or your fingernails, it's not matter, it's ideas. And ideas, again, are perfectly recognizable and tangible to the mind that formed them. So they will be experienceable, they will have substance, they will have tangibility, but it's simply the fullness of the experience of the idea. And just to keep you from becoming dense about what I've just said, because it's an idea, the table, and because it's an idea, your body, your body can pass through the table without interference. You can move through the table instead of bunging up your shin against it, because your body and the table are pure ideas, even though they are experienced as having substance and form and tangibility and what I'm going to call endurance. They continue to be present. Again, this does place you in a position of needing to learn a lesson which seems contradictory. You must learn to change your mind about your mind. Only by this can you learn that it is changeless. When you heal, that is exactly what you are learning. You are recognizing the changeless mind in your brother by realizing that he could not have changed his mind. That is how you perceive the Holy Spirit in him. It is only the Holy Spirit in him, in other words, that which is only his right mind. It is only the Holy Spirit in him that never changes his mind. He himself, your brother, must think he can change his mind, or he would not perceive himself as sick. He therefore does not know what his self is. If you see only the changeless in him, you have not really changed him at all. By changing your mind about his for him, you help him undo the change his ego thinks it has made in him. And here we're talking about the singularity again. By changing your mind about his for him, you help him undo the change his ego thinks it has made in him. Again, this is because it's all a singularity. Every night, Paul says a prayer. He asks for healing for everyone who has asked for healing, even if the desire for healing was only expressed as a hope with little faith. Do you see? Paul, in his mind, does not ask for healing and express the desire as a hope. And he does not bring little faith to it. But many do. Many hope things will get better. But they don't bring a lot of faith to that expressed desire. You and Paul can speak on behalf of the brother who has only hope and very little faith backing it up. You can ask for your brother from the confidence you have in the inevitability of healing that doesn't require hope, because you feel its inevitability, because it's that one's birthright to experience what God has set into place about him And I'm going to say, by law, according to God's laws, according to the perfection of God's being. And so you could say that you can have confidence for your brother in the face of his lack of faith. And that someone is standing on behalf of him from a strength that he does not currently experience, blesses him, and makes it easier for him to feel the influx of strength and firmness replacing the infirmity. All of this because everything is a singularity already. Again, if you see only the changeless in him, you have not really changed him at all. Well, what have you done? You've acknowledged the truth. You have seen what is true about him, that he's already whole, that no matter how successfully he thinks he obtained a bill of divorcement from his father, it didn't work. And he's inseparable from his father, and his birthright is still his, is still active, is still sitting there held in trust while he dallies in ignorance. And that which is held in trust is his divine self, and it's called the Holy Spirit. The place of excellence, the altar that's in him. It's already there, and it's already full of what he has always been. So you have not really changed him at all. By changing your mind about his, for him, you help him undo the change his ego thinks it has made in him. As you can hear two voices, so you can see in two ways. One way shows you an image, or better, an idol, which you may worship out of fear, but which you will never love. The other shows you only truth, which you will love because you will understand it. Understanding is appreciation, because what you understand you can identify with, and by making it part of you, you have accepted it with love. As you can hear two voices, so you can see in two ways. Let me promise you, those are the only choices you have. You can't see in 3 ways or 4 ways or 10 ways or 100 ways. You can only see in 2 ways. One is clearly and one is unclearly. You can see truly, or you can see what is true in a distorted way. And those are the only 2 choices you have. And the you that is making the choice is the one singularity called mind, or conscious awareness, that is absolutely singular. There may be 2 ways of seeing things, but there aren't 2 minds to see them with. There's one mind seeing clearly or unclearly. Now, I'm trying to simplify this for you so that you are not confused. You are the Christ right now, behaving as though you're not, and believing your behavior. Now, I have described the problem of being and the answer of being in one sentence, and I haven't violated the fact of the singularity of being. And if you will contemplate that sentence, you will find that it describes the problem that you're having, but it also states the unalterable truth about you that empowers you to abandon the confusion that seems to govern you. Why? Because you aren't an unlearned mind trying to learn and refine itself through eons of time. You're the one and only mind there is, being a little wacko at the moment, which you're quite capable of doing. It serves no purpose. It creates for you a meaningless experience, which you can imaginatively apply meaning to, but you can't change the fact that right at this instant you are the Christ. You are the ultimate, and you don't have to behave wacko anymore. Knowing that lets you know that a new decision now will give you a new experience now. You're not stuck in anything. This is the good news. Again, understanding is appreciation, because what you understand you can identify with, and by making it part of you, you have accepted it with love. That is how God Himself created you, in understanding, in appreciation, and in love. The ego is totally unable to understand this because it does not understand what it makes. It does not appreciate it, and it does not love it. It incorporates to take away. It literally believes that every time it deprives someone of something, it has increased. You all do understand that. You get somebody to take something, take less for more. You can either charge someone more than it's worth, and so you've taken from them. Or if they have something that they don't know the worth of that they're selling, you can buy it for the price they're selling it, knowing that you just gypped them out of a lot more because they were ignorant of its real value. We have spoken often of the increase of the kingdom by your creations, which can only be created as you were. Again, here's the singularity. By being the way you were created, you add to the kingdom. The thing to remember, however, is that you can't do this all by yourself. You can only do this as you let the movement of God move through you. And it's in that way that God expresses Himself through you and your gift of the singularity, and all that it includes becomes embodied. Continuing, the whole glory and perfect joy that is the kingdom lies in you to give. Do you not want to give it? Yes, you do. And it's pressuring to get out. It's pressuring to be given. It's pressuring to be extended. And you know what? As long as you're committed to your definitions of things, you feel that pressure as being against you, because it requires you to abandon the limits that you have imposed upon yourself. And it requires you to participate in the extension of something that you can't take personal pride in having created, because you know you weren't the exclusive author of it. And that's too great an expense, too great a cost for you to pay. And so you find yourself more and more miserable trying to abide in your definitions and your concepts, because the push of the more of what you truly are against the little that you're trying to be is causing your littleness to be a painful experience. Do you not want to give it? Yes, you do. And the Holy Spirit is constantly insinuating itself, constantly, gently pressuring you, constantly, in an uncontrolling way, getting your attention. And you treat it like a mosquito flying around your face, bugging you, bugging the hell out of you, bothering you, distracting you. But it will continue. So, when you leave here today, remember that it's not that unreasonable a thing to choose to drive home. Embodying in your driving habits that which comes from a place of excellence in you. Just let there be a desire to be in the movement of God that everyone else on the road is in, whether they realize it or not. If they're behaving poorly, it's because they don't realize it. Somebody needs to be the one to realize it, because when you truly realize it, you have also realized it for the one in the other car, making it easier for him to get it, whether he does or not. But the point is, you're not joining him in conflicted confusion by coming from the same place he is. So what we're talking about truly is relevant. And you don't need to look at everything as though it's so completely different and completely at odds with what we're talking about. Everything, because it is some aspect of creation with a capital C. Everything, because it is the visibility and tangibility of God, is susceptible to the acknowledgement of God in it, even when it thinks it's something else. It's still susceptible to the acknowledgement of what is true about it by anyone who dares to engage in being conscious of it. You've got it. I can tell. You've got the idea. You see, this book isn't about words and concepts and ideas. It's about you, and it's about the way you're being. So this week, be a little bit more consciously. And I look forward to being with you next week.